Hey guys, and welcome back to another Warframe video. Today, like last week, we've got another Eidolon hunting video, and this one is going to be a Rivenless build, because a few people left comments saying, yeah, but you have a Riven. You don't have to use the Zenith when you're doing Eidolon hunting, that's just my personal preference. If you do want to use the Zenith, then you'll probably need a Riven in order to make it work properly. But for now, we're going to just be using the Rubico Prime, Rivenless, as well as the Knell Prime, Rivenless, although you don't actually have to use the Knell Prime, and to be honest, I probably won't use the Knell Prime in the run that we are going to be doing with this build. So, we'll go through it and explain what's going on. There's a couple things that I've changed actually on my build generally since last week's video, because more people have been leaving comments, and I've been getting more and more information to improve my builds. So yeah, I think this is where we've kind of ended up. And I will do an ultimate Eidolon guide at some point just to run through everything, I think. So, yeah. Looking at our build, we have, as you saw, 5 Tau Forged Violets on. They are all on Electricity to Primary. And then we're running Holster Ramp, Preparation, Vigorous Swap for damage, 3 Umbral mods, very expensive. This is not really necessary. You could actually drop one of these Umbral mods if you wanted to, but I'd recommend having one on. And also the tower resistance is quite nice against the Eidolons, so yeah, always good to have. Shock Trooper for increased electricity damage from our first ability. We've also put Eclipse on for some extra weapon damage. And then, yeah, Energize and Nullify are my kind of go-to for arcanes when fighting Eidolons. This is an endgame build, in case you hadn't clocked on to that. For someone who's sort of looking for an entry-level build, you can go back and have a look at my previous Ultimate Eidolon guide. It is still somewhat relevant, but if you wait around for a bit, I'm sure I will be releasing one again with an updated build on this channel soon. And then on our Rubico, we are running Vig Armaments for some extra multi-shot. This probably isn't actually necessary, but it does tip you over the 2 multi-shot mark, which guarantees you obviously 2 pellets per shot, or 3 actually, I think, is it? No, yeah, it's 2 actually. Guarantees you 2 with 50% chance of getting a 3rd, but the 2 is pretty necessary, to be honest. That 10% chance from just split chamber, it won't help you out very much. And you want to be guaranteeing the one-shots on the limbs, so yes. Primary Deadhead, definitely a good one to have on here, as we probably will end up using the Rubico to headshot the Eidolons as well. Ambush Optics for some negative zoom, split chamber, vital sense, vital acceleration, and critical delay. And then Amalgam Serration for some increased sprint speed. If you don't have this, normal Serration is just fine. And then Stormbringer and Hellfire for that radiation damage. On the Knell, very similar situation, just built for multi-shots, radiation, and crit. That's about it. Cascading Accuracy for increased crit chance on roll, and then Lethal Momentum. Not that we will probably be using this, but, you know, this is just an example build if you wanted to use a secondary weapon to cap shot, although I find the Knell very inconsistent. Vastilok, we are running Prime Fury, Shattering Impact, Quickening, Gladiator Vice, Sacrificial Steel, and Corrupt Charge. This is going to give us extra chance to proc our melee duplicate. You could form with this to get more on, but to be honest, this is completely fine. You will easily strip the Eidolon's armor very quickly with this. And then further on down, Mudurai, the go-to skill tree for hunting Eidolons. You can use Void Strike, you can use Power Transfer, Contamination Wave. There is a lot here that helps with Eidolon hunting. Sling Strength for additional ability strength. It's all good. And then just heading over to our Sentinel. This is where things have changed. So, I have formed my Sentinel a couple times here to fit on Reinforced Bond and Tenacious Bond. So, Tenacious Bond is going to provide us with additional crit damage if our companion's weapon can achieve above 50% critical chance, and the Volk Lock is indeed one of those weapons. We can get it up to 105% in fact. So what this is doing, this is actually applying a 1.2 times additional crit multiplier to our Rubico. So we're up at 7.8 times now, which is pretty high. And then in addition to that, we also have a Reinforced Bond, which will provide us with additional fire rate when our shields are over 1200. And Wyrm Prime just happens to be one of those Sentinels that can get its shield over that mark. We're up at 2100 right here. So these 2 mods, someone did recommend them in the comments, so thank you. Apologies, I don't actually have my YouTube up right now, so I can't see who that was, but you know who you are. Thank you very much for the point towards these 2. These are really, really useful. And then gear-wise, we are going to be just running some energy restores, our Archwing launcher, obviously, our Necromech summon to open the gate just for a bit of extra utility, and then our on-call crewmate is going to be helping us take out Vonvalists underneath the Terror List. On our Itzal, again, as per, I haven't really invested in this build much since we last saw it, but we've got maxed out Hyperion thrusters and then Cold Snap, Energy Amplifier. They're the kind of 3 main ones you want on this. Anything else is just, you know, bonus on top of that. Now, in addition to that, on our Parazon, someone did ask why I was going invisible. That is because of Untraceable. It makes you invisible for 15 seconds after hacking, which is obviously every time we get a lure. Runtime is going to give us the extra movement speed every time that we get a lure. And Auto Breach just if you're, you know, someone who's a bit conscious about using too many ciphers. Just quickly looking at our operator. Where are we? There we go. So 177 amp. So for those who don't know what 177 amp is, it's Prober Scaffold, Certus Brace, Plaque Prism. And then we've got Elevate and Vigor. You can use whatever you want on here. If you want to use Magus Melt, by all means do so for a bit of memeage. But then on our amp, these are the two go-to still, Eternal Onslaught and Eternal Eradicate. So yeah, that is basically the sum total of our build. What I will just point out quickly is what my on-call crewmate has on. I'm not actually going to pop down and show you guys. My god. Cannot click today. So this is what we're running on my Kuva new core. So actually a few people did obviously say in the comments that on-call crewmates do not benefit from galvanized mods or indeed arcanes. So to those people, I say, yes, you're correct, but also this is literally just one of the builds that I would use in a normal mission and I can't be bothered to change it. And it does so much damage anyway that the on-call crewmate will just pop the Vonvalists regardless. So yeah, that's why I'm running this and why I did run it in the last build. So yeah, that is the overall sum total of it, guys. What we'll do, we'll pop into a run, show this off, and then as before, we will do a little round out in the Orbiter. Alright guys, so just going to do a little bit of commentary over the top here. It's going to be a fairly standard run, similar to last week. We're just going to come in here, shoot our lures. You'll notice I have turned off sniper scopes. You can do that in your settings if you wish. What happens here is that there's one Vonvalist just trailing behind, so in order to get the second Vonvalist spawn, I'm actually just going to ignore that one completely and come over and just grab 2 over here. Like so. We're going to be a bit late, so I'm not going to bother casting anything. Our Void Strike should suffice in damage for this first limb. There we go. We'll park that up, throw down our on-call crewmate, and strip the Eidolon's armor. And do our standard 2 Proper, 1 Replac combo. I should note as well that there are no macros being used in this. This is all just kind of muscle memory for me at this point. I have also turned off auto firing for semi-automatic weapons, which is something else you can do in the settings. Reason being that obviously there is still the glitch where if you are aiming in and you fire and then you go hack a lure, you will just end up consistently firing, which, although it's not too much of a problem with the Zenith, because the Zenith can go fully automatic anyway, it is a problem with the Rubico because you will actually start to run out of ammo and the reload is not completely, is not swift, shall we say. So there we go. That's Terror List down. We're going to go ahead and just kind of jump around here, get the rest of our lures. What you will notice me doing in a second is stacking my combo counter against the Eidolon. That's the reason we're shooting against it, even though it's just kind of invulnerable on the floor. I don't think you actually have to do that with this build. I don't think combo counter matters. You should have enough damage either way in order to one-shot all the limbs of even the Hydralist. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. I'm just kind of used to doing it with the Rubico, so I'm kind of doing this just blindly, to be honest. But yeah, we're going to hold fire here, or just hold back until that last lure is charged, and then we'll move in a bit closer. I am going to use the Knell. Still a pretty good weapon for capping Eidolons, it's got to be said. So we're going to pre-shield here. Since we're not running the Zenith, I am not going to bother putting down a shield at a long spawn. I've also actually picked up a shield by accident. I should point out that I haven't done that deliberately, but you can actually do that. It is a viable strat, obviously. It means you don't have to put down 3 shields, because when you land, the shield from your frame just lands wherever you do. So that's a nice little tip, I guess. Bit slow on that limb, but it's fine. And yeah, just rinse and repeat really. So I'm kind of going to shut up and I'll pop back in a bit more towards the end. Alright guys, so we're coming up towards the end of this run here. I think we land a 659 just about on this last limb, which isn't too shabby at all, given we've had a few mistakes and it wasn't the best start either. But yeah, as you can see, a Rivenless Eidolon hunt in sub 7 minutes, perfectly possible. So yeah, we'll skip forward to the cap shot, and then I'll catch you guys back in the orbiter. Okay guys, so as you can see, Eidolon hunting without Rivens, still very, very possible, even doing very, very quick times. The only thing, the only difference between running something like the Rubico and the Zenith is that if you happen to get a long spawn, the Zenith can obviously pop the Eidolon's limb through the floor. It can save you, you know, anywhere between 5 and 8 seconds, depending on how kind of clean you are with it, which to some people, that is actually quite a lot. To me, it does actually, you know, make the run a bit more comfortable. So yeah, that's the only reason I run it. But you can very, very easily have an endgame Eidolon build without the need for a Riven, an expensive Riven on any of these builds. I appreciate the build is expensive in itself, but yeah, just to answer anyone's sort of questions about running without a Riven mod, this is kind of the way to go about it. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. As I said, I probably will be releasing an ultimate Eidolon guide in the near future for 2025. But otherwise, yeah, please leave a like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. I'll see you later, guys.